Welcome, horror fam, to HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Night podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm here with my co-hosts Duff and Jess. How's it going, guys?
I am great.
Oh, I'm fantastic. Not as good as Duff, though. This is really for him.
Hey, it's me. I'm happy. How's it going?
As always, you can interact with us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365, and we have a TikTok now at HHN365 pod, and you can always leave us a voicemail, and make sure you do because we are going to use them soon, but Duff will explain it in a little bit at 407-906 4134. On today's show, we will discuss the Weeknd announcement and the release of multi-night tickets in Orlando, as well as other news and rumors. Duff, I just alluded to it. Why do we need people to send us voicemails?
So, fun fact. It is episode 98 for our little podcast here. Like, I don't know if you remember, Mike, for the first 10 episodes, we were like, can you believe we made it to episode 6? You know?
Yeah. I feel like on a lot of episodes we talk about just like, oh my gosh, how, I can't believe that we made it this far. I can't believe people listen to us. No, but we're sincere every time. So I'm going to try not to on this one. But yes, it's pretty crazy, man.
Insane. But yeah, episode 98 that you're listening to right now. So that means, of course, the 100th episode is coming up. We're going to be very unoriginal and do something that Jess has done before on one of her podcasts to celebrate a milestone. And that's kind of like a call-in episode, you could say, to celebrate the 100th. It's not bad, right?
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's kind of hard to work in like a full call-in show, so it's going to be more like a voicemail show, and we react to all your voicemails like we normally do on the show. But this one is going to be... we usually ask, call in and talk about the subject or whatever. You can call in for whatever. But this one, special for the 100th. If you want to call in and treat it like a Q&A, ask us anything you want, great. We'd love to answer your questions. If you want to talk shit to us, great. I'd love to hear it.
Please.
We're back with you. If you want to say something nice, even better. That'd be great too. But we just want literally as many people to call in, ask questions, say something, whatever you want. Call in. We'll interact with it. That'll be kind of our 100th anniversary special episode. So once again, that's 407-906-4134. Don't worry. The phone line is not active. I cannot answer the phone. It'll go directly to voicemail, so you don't have to worry about talking to anyone. So yeah, definitely take advantage.
Yeah, call in.
Good time to point out we have technically 3 voicemails on this episode. We usually do them earlier in the episode. This one, we're going to do it at the end because all of the episode today is news and rumors. So if you left a voicemail this previous week, we're going to get to you. Just be later in the episode that you'll get to hear us talk.
Absolutely. Yeah, so definitely call in. If you want to know why I disappeared for nearly a year, I might not tell you the whole story, but...
a little bits and pieces.
Yeah, sure. All right. Duff, you are absolutely right. We have a lot to go over. Where do we start?
Let's start with what came first this week, since what happened last week, and that's going to be some more HHN 31 construction. Shocker! This feels like it was forever ago now,
literally,
with everything that's happened. But since our last update about 31 construction that was happening in Hollywood, it was the very cemetery-looking props. Confirmed, it's a cemetery. They put up a prop that literally says Nettlewoods Cemetery on the sign. So yeah, it's confirmed that is the name of the location. Probably not the name of the zone itself, but the name of the location is Nettlewoods Cemetery. That's always fun to get more confirmation on certain little things. So pretty exciting there. Same aesthetic as the other pieces.
Yeah, and this is the speculated vampire zone on version 3 of the spec map. So
okay, yeah.
And as just pointed out to me while we were there is a little tiny, what appears, I'm not going to confirm it is, because it could not be, and it could be an accident, but it's probably not, what looks like a bat on top of the logo of Nettlewoods Cemetery. So a fun little connection there.
It's a bat. I will not take any other arguments right now.
I'm just trying not to talk in definitives. We know how that ends.
I know, but it's there for everyone to see. I was just there today. It's a bat.
Oh, yeah, it's a bat. Yes,
but they haven't added anything to that zone since we went last week, at all. So I have a feeling it's for the most part done right now until the details start going in.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Good point. And I don't think they added anything else since then, right? Since those couple set pieces.
No, literally, it was the exact same as
Okay.
when did we go? Thursday?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same ones, but we still might get something in the center of the street because they love a big prop.
They do,
So
and I'm hoping for it.
fingers crossed.
But there is more movement going on construction-wise throughout the rest of the park. If you go to Central Park, that same day that those dropped, there were speakers all throughout the grass. And then also more recently in Central Park, they added. You actually saw them in person, Jess. If you want to describe the structures.
Yeah, so I thought they were, I don't know, I guess I thought they were wood when I first saw them pop up on Twitter, but I was like staring at them. They're fully metal. It's like two large boxes with a walkway connecting the two boxes, and then there's one on either side. And they're, you know, right there flush with each other. So I don't know if this is going to be, like I was telling you before we started recording, like a barn that maybe we walk through or like a big structure we walk through. But it's either that or a stage because it looks very sturdy. It's completely metal. I don't know how to describe it other than that. Like,
and they're like two that like basically are across from each other, right?
yeah,
Is that okay?
right across from each other. And they're big boys. Like I mean, I'm 5'5" and it was like 7 feet tall, 8 feet tall, maybe.
So
Wow.
it'd be above you.
That'd be really cool.
And I think the spec map has this as Scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. A barn would make a lot of sense.
That would be fucking cool.
That would be really cool.
If they go that hard with it, oh my god.
All right.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's a nondescript structure right now. It's covered in black tarp, but
who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But the fact that one, that they're the size they are, and it appears they are meant to support something, right?
Okay, maybe it was like 7 feet tall at the most. I might be exaggerating now that I'm looking at the pictures, but taller than me.
I mean, most things are. Anyways,
shut up.
We also, if we go to the Fast and Furious exit, there is a truss that has, I now believe, added speakers and lights. And,
Yep.
That's
it.
So it's just like a big truss structure that goes across and encompasses the exit of Fast and Furious Supercharged. And then if you go to New York, our first signs are going to be a box where the stage usually is. That's covered in black tarp, right? That's about it there.
Yeah. That's it.
No. Cool. All right, cool. Well, there's our HHN 31 construction updates.
Yeah, it sounds like they're tarping a lot of stuff. So, but not apparently in Hollywood. That's weird.
And it seems the ones that are, I could be wrong, but it seems the ones that are being tarped don't have any theming to them either. They're just structures.
Yeah, it's not hiding anything. Like when I say covered in tarp, they're just covered in tarp. Like there's nothing behind it. It's not like Seek and Destroy where we had those things covered in tarps last year and we were like, oh, what is it? This is very much just like some metal. Like I don't even know. You kind of know how like the beat builders have that scaffolding. The one in Central Park very much feels like scaffolding covered in black fabric.
Huh. Okay.
Almost.
Oh my. All right. Let me not get excited about just thoughts because. So that wraps it up for construction for now. So let's get to the most exciting stuff. There was announcements today. We'll start off with the smaller part of the announcement. I don't know if it's technically smaller. It's a pretty fucking big deal. People wait on it for a long time. They've been asking since November 1st, 2021, where are our multi-night tickets for HHN 31? Here they are. They're available. All of them. So you want Rush of Fear, you want Frequent Fear. They're all there now. I will say the price increases, for the most part, I think Rush of Fear stayed the same pretty much, but everything else took like a good 10 to 15% jump in price.
Well, Dr. Strengoy did that really lovely spreadsheet for us on Twitter, and I have it.
Oh, please indulge us on what the prices are and what the price jumps were.
Of course, and he actually even included with tax, which is lovely. So I'm gonna say with tax because we live in America. There's gonna be a tax. So Rush of Fear stayed the same. Without Express, it's $138.44 with tax. With Express, it's $457.94. That is an 8% increase with Express. Frequent Fear is $191.69. That's a 13% increase from last year. With Express is $543.14. That's an 11% increase. Plus excuse me. Plus is 234.29. That's a 16% increase. Plus with Express is 638.99. That's a 13% increase.
Oh.
And then Ultimate is 346.11 without Express. With Express is 873.29. 14% increase for the regular, 12% with Express.
I bit the bullet on the Plus with Express today, and that hurt quite a bit.
I did too. I haven't picked it up yet, even though I was in the park.
I need to save up for a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's there's no reason to buy it right now. I'm just a fucking loser and feel the need to own it already.
Did it sell out last year?
No,
never.
They aren't gonna let it sell out.
Then,
no, save up, take your time. There's no reason to splash that money now. Again, I'm just a fucking idiot who feels the need to buy it right away.
I don't blame you. I think it's weird though that Rush this year, it doesn't include the last week in September, right?
Oh, yeah. The Rush is not all of September now. That was one of the interesting points. It is missing. It's just last weekend, right?
Yeah, I believe it's. I'm pulling up the dates now on because the app also when you open the Universal app, the first slider is the HHN slider now. That's how you know we're here, baby.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry, what was the question? Rush the dates?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so you only get. I say only get. So they did still give you 4 weekends in September, but September has
5 weekends.
5 weekends, so I guess that makes sense. So really, on paper, it looks like they took a weekend away, but no, it was always only a month.
Okay.
Ticket.
Well, wouldn't last year basically be the same case though? So did last year you get an extra weekend?
Oh.
Depends what day of the week the weekend came. But.
Oh, I don't know. No, last year it had 5. Yeah, I don't know. That's so weird.
So you lost a weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And so technically the price didn't change, but
the amount of days did.
Yeah, that's where they got you. There's the price increase.
Wow. Well, yeah, I got Plus with Express. Oops.
So I know that's tough for a lot of people who probably were planning on coming the last week or last 2 weeks of September and get the Rush of Fear, and now that's maybe not going to work out. So I'm sorry if that affects you. That kind of sucks because ever since we've had Rush of Fear, that's what it's been. So big change there, actually.
Yeah, that sucks because I know a lot of people who just get Rush.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, date-wise, is that as always, all these passes are going to include the opening weekend. So even if it's usually blacked out Friday, Saturday, opening weekend, you get all the days. Occasionally, they will do the Saturdays and Fridays of the second weekend. That is not the case this year. You're only getting opening and last weekend. I guess the word for that is closing weekend. Opening and closing weekends are not affected by the blackout dates.
Yeah, which is nice.
Unless you're Rush of Fear, then your whole last weekend is blacked out. Oops.
Your last weekend would be the weekend before.
Sorry. But yeah, I don't think otherwise much else has changed about that. Oh wait, yes, there was actually a big one. Confirm if I'm wrong, but it seems like they added a nice feature to the Ultimate Frequent Fear Pass this year, and that's adding parking.
Oh.
Yeah, I know one of the big complaints that a lot of people have is I spent all this money, upwards of $500, $600 on a lot of these tickets, and more than that if you're Ultimate, to still have to pay for parking if you don't have an annual pass. Well, if you get the Ultimate Frequent Fear Pass, it's now included.
Huh.
Wow, it has to be after 5 p.m. is the stipulation, but still.
Hey, I mean, I had Ultimate last year. I won't lie about that. I didn't go every Saturday, but luckily I had parking with my ticket. But that would have been helpful, for other people. I guess I don't know. I could get them.
Yeah, I mean, I know Mike currently doesn't have an annual pass, so that would you're not going to get the Ultimate. I know, but I'm sure you'd love to have parking including in your ticket if you could. Mike,
what's next? No, he's muted.
Oh, okay. Good to know. All right. What is next? Oh, so we also have Scare Actor Dining returning to the event.
Yes.
Yeah, that's something I think we kind of weren't sure if was gone for good, or was just kind of like a COVID cut.
Yeah.
Not that COVID is over, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so character dining's back. It's $54.99. Of course, Monsters Cafe is closed now. Can't take place there, so now it's going over to Louis.
Stupid. I'm sorry. I I am part of the I'm upset about this decision. I'm not
Mhm.
even gonna lie, because Louise is the only form of air conditioning you get in New York Stay and Scream, and we already know how bad Duff Garden Stay and Scream gets because you only have Fast Food Boulevard for air conditioning as well.
And
So
that's
take
hell. That's absolute
right.
hell.
And then like this is also the only freestyle machines in the area because Stay and Scream doesn't always extend to the monsters, like that outdoor monster kiosk
Mhm.
uh, soda machine. So like your only freestyle machine is in there. Yeah, they can add the food trucks out in the streets, but people are gonna like die of heat stroke because they can't go run into Louis for some air conditioning.
Yeah, because obviously Finns, one, a lot of people grab reservations to be able to be in
Hmm.
there, or two, take up all the bar space because it's limited. So, not much indoor space now. That does suck. I said it on Twitter, and I'll say it again. It's nice to be a Duff Gardens fan right now because I
Not
don't
me.
really care because I don't do New York Stay and Scream that often. Maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
See, and that's how I am with Duff Gardens. I rarely do it. It's too hot.
No, not if you're sitting right at the like in the bar where it's shaded and they have the fans. It feels great.
I never get there early enough for that. I'm sorry.
Well, now I'll have to save you a spot.
Well, thank you.
You're
That
welcome.
that'll be our new tagline. Duff will save you a seat.
No, that's not. Don't. No, I offered it to one person.
Duff will save you a seat. Now my seat's gone.
All right. How many seats can I save? Just walk. Save every seat, please. No one's allowed to sit here until
Duff's
all
coming,
my friends
guys.
go. I mean, I should
Hey,
get some priority there, right? You would
it's
think.
your Stay and Scream location.
I
Like,
wish. They don't
hey,
care. They just occasionally look at my ID and go, "What?" That's
oh,
it.
that's fun.
Like, oh, okay, that's different. Um, but yeah, no. So that you're right. It does kind of suck if you're, 'cause you know, there's a lot of people who actually do just go to Louis, just stay and
Yeah,
scream. Like that's what they do. Um, I didn't realize how many people actually go to stay and scream and eat because it's just something I've never really done.
yeah.
There's a lot of people that like that's their dinner every time they do stay and scream. They go to stay and scream to eat. So that kind of sucks if that's what you come accustomed to doing.
Well, it's also nice because you can start your night with pizza fries because Louis always offers pizza fries during the event. So that was
Mm,
always like a positive for me. Like they're not my favorite, but if I'm gonna go drink all night, it's nice to have some like carbs in my system. And
mm.
Louis has pasta. They have pizza. They are literally like theme park carb mecca. And you're gonna take that away from us?
Yeah, that's good for getting ready to walk around for who knows how many miles that night.
Exactly. And I don't know. It's also weird because isn't it's a buffet? This character dining, I believe, is what the description said.
Hmm.
And like, yeah, they have where they could set it up, but it sounds so weird to me to shut down a daytime operation to then set up because they're gonna have to shut it down early before the park closes to set this whole thing up every night.
Mm.
Or is Louis just gonna be that and they're gonna close Louis for the season? They're not gonna do that.
No, there's no way. No way.
So yeah, it kind of sucks. And then like for the people who don't know that's character dining now, who go in on opening night and are like, yeah, we're gonna go in our favorite stay and scream location, and they're like not well informed, and then they can't get in. There's like a bouncer that's just like, no,
Yeah, it sucks. It
it
it does.
does.
Again, doesn't affect me luckily, but it sucks if it's something that you were looking forward to and you usually do. So, condolences there.
Yeah, in
The
New York. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's something stupid. I'd rather not.
Well, say
I
it
was
right
just
now.
gonna say it. New York has the better smoking sections too.
Oh well, I don't give a shit.
Hey, I pass my time in the smoking section sometimes during stay and scream.
Oh, oh. Anyways, one more thing on top of the whole multi-night ticket announcement. I guess they barely announced it. Release
Yeah.
is the Scream Early ticket. So if you don't have an annual pass, if you don't have daytime admission, you could buy this for $35 and enter the park anytime from 3 to 5 p.m. So you can enjoy Stay and Scream like everyone else who was already in the park. So
I love that they offer this ticket. I
yeah,
think
I,
it's
I
one of
use
the
it for
better
like
things.
friends who come to the event but don't have tickets and aren't going to the park that day,
Hmm.
so they can be able to do Stay and Scream and knock out more houses on their only night at HHN. So I won't use it personally, but I think it's a great option to have.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. And for the same reasons. And like also Stay and Scream is like the tailgate of HHN. So for me, it's like bringing my friends who have never been. You have to do Stay and Scream. You have to do like the pregame with us. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's part of the night.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
you're absolutely right.
So I'm glad it's an option that's still here.
I feel like we should clarify because it's a question I still see go around. I think not too many people are aware of this. Um, if you have a ticket, if you have an annual pass, do not buy the Scream Early ticket. You do not need it. This is not like paying to do Stay and Scream. Stay and Scream is not a paid event now. This is simply if you don't have daytime admission. I've seen the
Mhm.
people make the mistake, seen people ask the question. So just clarifying for anyone who wasn't aware yet, it's still something that's not the most popular item offered at HHN. So just to clarify that.
Yeah, don't go double buying your tickets.
No, no, no. All right.
Also, I do know that they were allowing upgrades already for frequent viewers today.
Oh,
Because someone I know accidentally bought Rush, not realizing they clicked the wrong thing. And they, I'm not condoning this, but guest services was already willing to help. So,
okay. Well, good to know. Good to know. I got the ticket I needed, luckily. Confirmed.
yeah, same.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am back and we are moving on to the big announcement today.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm just getting excited
He's
over here.
foaming at the mouth.
Duff, as you can tell, Duff is very excited about this.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So, Duff, is this the first time we got like an Entertainment Weekly exclusive leak or announcement, or how
Yeah,
do we...
like the thing is, it wasn't like how third parties and outlets will like leak the announcement like minutes before or sometimes weeks before HHN can announce it. This was like I'm pretty sure this was planned that Entertainment Weekly actually had the exclusive drop of the weekend.
The article said it
Yeah,
100%.
So like that one, people knocking this at all. That's how big of an IP this is. The fact that Entertainment Weekly got the drop.
Yeah.
Before we even get into the announcement itself, another thing I would like to bring up is what do you think the most ever liked? I don't have the exact number. I've seen it recently. But what do you think the most ever liked HHN like house announcement tweet or the biggest HHN tweet of all time? How many likes do you think it got?
Oh,
No clue. Like what? Maybe
20,000? I can't even think.
It's only like 10,000
Oh, okay. That's
ever.
never mind.
Like
I was thinking like
ever,
Stranger
ever.
Things.
Right? The Weeknd's tweet about it, like he what did he tweet? Let me pull it up real quick. He just posted like the art itself, the key art. It beat how many tweets, or I'm sorry, how many likes the HHN tweet had within 1 minute of it posting, and currently has 128,000 likes.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's how big the IP is. His single tweet about the house is bigger than any HHN tweet by a large margin. So very big get. Whatever you think about him, very big get.
huge, yeah.
But to the actual announcement itself, yes, it was announced the weekend, which no one should be surprised. It's not a well-kept secret, in part due to the Weeknd himself and his Twitter antics. It is called The Weeknd After Hours Nightmare. It's going to be the same name and key art for both Hollywood and Orlando. And that means it'll only be based on one album, After Hours.
After Hours. Yeah.
So first, let's start off because they did it first. The Entertainment Weekly announcement. They had interviews with creative directors, the Weeknd himself. There's actually a lot of spoilers in it that literally tell you what certain scenes are going to look like and what's in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to limit the actual spoilers that we're going to discuss here, at least from this article, to the songs that will be in this house.
Yeah.
So there are specific songs that'll be used. If you don't want to know what those are ahead of time, click off for a little bit because I'm going to bring those up. But we aren't going to go any deeper spoilers, at least for now. I'll warn you if we do. So one thing they did is ask The Weeknd, obviously, hey, you got a house at HHN, how you feeling kind of deal. He says, I always wanted my own Halloween Horror Nights haunted house. I mean, everyone's going to say that, of course, as Halloween has always been significant to my music, so this is a total dream come to life. I feel like my music videos have served as a launching pad for a collaboration like this, and I cannot wait for people to experience this madness. When talking to Charles Gray of Orlando Creative Team, what came out of it was extracting the nightmares. What would it be like if we were inside his head while he's creating this album? He said that, or he added that, The Weeknd's affinity for films like A Clockwork Orange, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and Jacob's Ladder is on display throughout this project. In quotes, it isn't a retelling of the After Hours album, it's entering the nightmares that were the muse for his songs. There's a lot of surrealistic, horrific imagery as we, inspired by the videos. And that after the we, he expanded on things that we won't discuss.
Yes.
And then also the 6 songs that are going to be involved are After Hours, shocker, In Your Eyes, Heartless, less of a shocker, Blinding Lights, and
Yes.
Save Your Tears, and Too Late.
Yeah.
Adding that these songs will be basically broken into 3 separate sections.
This is gonna be so fucking cool.
Yeah. So one, Jess, you recall videos better than I do typically, or maybe you don't. I don't know. But we got a video, of course, as we do. It continued the series. Yes. What do we get with this one?
So we didn't get the thing that's interesting to me is this character does not tie into the last announcement that like we've been seeing how the snacker tied into the skeptic. This was the selfie queen. So we have this girl, she's in a bathroom, she's taking a selfie. She zooms in, and in the background of the selfie is The Weeknd, and then the lights flicker. I think it's a really cool like promo video for this house. Kind of Vanity Ball-esque, but I don't know much about The Weeknd. But those bandaged girls really gave me that vibe. I don't know. It was a really good video. Go watch it. It was kind of hard to find. I don't think they actually tweeted it.
They ended up tweeting it eventually.
Oh, they did? Okay.
They waited a bit because the Entertainment Weekly dropped, but they did end up tweeting it.
Okay, good. It's a really good watch. I just don't know what happened to Brock from the Cringe Couple video.
Well, we've heard that there was a IP that was pulled out or dropped, whatever the case may be. So I think Brock has been pulled out alongside it.
R.I.P. Brock.
Poor Brock.
Or Brock will not die now. Brock is now safe.
Or he died and no one ever cared to find him.
Or, yeah, he sadly died quietly. And
it's a cold case.
Brock, I'm sure you acted your ass off. I'm sorry we don't get to see the masterpiece.
R.I.P. man.
I will say this was my favorite of the videos. I think the way it was set up, I was going to say effects, but the effects were basically just lighting. Just the execution of it. It was just very aesthetically pleasing video, and it got to the point, and kind of gave you some of the imagery that you will see. So I think it was just really well done, and got me more excited for the house. And I've seen other people's takes that aren't just biased about The Weeknd, who are also like, oh fuck, that was a good video.
Oh, it was. I don't know anything about The Weeknd. I've been saying it for weeks now. Like, I only know like 2 of the songs out of the 6, I think, 2 or 3 of them. But I loved the video. This is I'm probably the most hyped for this house now after the video.
Yeah, wait, you're most hyped for this house?
So far, based on the announcements.
Oh.
Not based on everything, but this excites me. This video.
Okay.
But I love music. So any kind of house that's based on a musical artist, The Weeknd's not horror. You're wrong, because I think this promo video shows us he lends himself very well. Even me, who doesn't know anything. So I'm excited.
I mean, this album is very synthwavy, and 2019 and 2018, all the music was synthwave, or at least dark wave, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I think that argument is moot. I think you can basically, synth pop. You could at least this album is, and it's and all the imagery and lends it to it. And Duff, didn't you like? I don't know if you talked about it on the show before, but this whole album is kind of about what's kind of the album about? It's kind of like escaping like L.A., right? Kind of like the dark side of like L.A.
Yeah. Well, actually, sort of the album kind of focuses both on LA and Las Vegas a bit. But they're fully going to go to LA apparently with this house is kind of what we're looking at, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of the focus. It's all about the dark side and the trials and tribulations you face, and
Yeah,
and
like the
in the
seedy
case of this,
underbelly.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the case of this album, not coming out on the right side of it at any point.
Yeah.
It doesn't have necessarily the happy ending. Actually, it doesn't have a happy ending at all. The last song is literally called "Until I Bleed Out." So, um,
Oh.
yeah, it's a very. You were also saying how like it's like you could pop synth could work like yeah when you think of like blinding lights like pop synth. A lot of this album is a much darker synth style.
Okay.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of these songs are gonna.
So it fits right into what
Yeah,
they've been
yeah.
doing over the last couple
I
of years
I
at the
I think
Halloween
I've
Hornet.
been literally been saying this since that time, since I brought up like in our early 2020 speculation, like what artists, when we were talking Billie Eilish, who else? I think I said The Weeknd, and that's because like if you would have popped his music in an HHN 29's loop, no one would have batted an eye. It would have fit perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how much more I can elaborate on that I already have not done.
And if you were not familiar with The Weeknd, it's literally only one album. You gotta you don't have to go back and watch watch all these old videos or listen to all these old albums. You got one album. You can't really complain. And if you don't like it, then you go through the house once and move on.
Yeah, definitely. And I think at the end of kind of wrapping up like the Weekend House and what we've heard, we'll kind of talk about that aspect of people kind of not being too happy about it, but we'll get to that point. Real quick, I will say what HHN's official description of the house is. Prepare to enter the macabre mind of the Weekend in this haunted house as he stalks your squad. Oh God, I didn't even notice that
Oh my
earlier.
God, me neither.
Through the surreal nightmare of his after-hours music. I'm sorry, why?
They always have to ruin it with a squad thrown in there.
Oh God! All right, a slasher. A slasher carving a smile at an otherworldly rave. Bandaged maniacs performing extreme plastic surgery. A grotesque mannequin masquerade. His nightmare is now yours. They just named a bunch of scenes that you've already seen, like in different Horror Nights stuff. Like, come on, how's that?
Literally.
All right. Anyways, the last thing we'll get to about like the things that we have heard. As usual, John Murdy did a Q&A on Twitter. There might be a few spoilers in here. I don't think they're too crazy. So if you're scared of hearing anything, I'd again step away for a few minutes and come back. And then, of course, it's John Murdy, so he does state this has nothing to do with Orlando's house unless otherwise stated. So just Hollywood. It will be in Soundstage 29 there. He said that it is actually another collaboration house with Orlando, though. Mike Aiello, Charles Gray, Chris Williams, all involved on this process with John himself. It will have a facade, and it's one that he has always wanted to make for a music house. Interesting. Some areas of the house will have distorted parts of the songs, like the music videos, which is one of the things I'm most excited about. You won't hear it if you listen to the album for most songs, but almost all of his music videos have a distorted, very creepy, dark section of the songs. So that's exciting to know that they will definitely be there in Hollywood, at least. They will utilize UV lighting. The focus on After Hours and the 6 songs, literally nothing else. Just those 6 songs and After Hours itself. But he does state that, like we heard in the interviews with Charles Gray, that they aren't directly based on the music videos. They are just inspiring what the house is more than anything. It has a complex lighting program that they have never done and a crazy complicated sound design, which, as a music house, makes sense. The house will have a mirror section. He referred to the placement of Save Your Tears as being very strange. Huh.
Okay.
And then finally, would there be a theme of heartbreak present in the house? Murdy says he relates it more to LA image obsessed culture and the pitfalls of
Mhm.
fame. But he says maybe that's because he was born and bred there. So yeah, that's the main takeaways I got from, well, I'll tell you right now, Jonathan from Hung Up on Horror kind of collects those for me every time. He's really good at compiling those. So shout out to Jonathan for compiling his Q&A answers for me.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I always love when Murdy does that to give us a bit of that insight without fully kind of like spoiling anything, right? Like it just kind of he gives you some idea of what's going to happen, the effects they'll use, and it just gets you more hype. There's not been a time where he's done a Q&A and I've been like, oh, like that again? You know, he's always doing it to get you a little more excited.
Yeah. I'm curious what that facade's going to be. I can't.
Yeah, I know, right? Like he's always wanted to do it for a music house, so it doesn't necessarily only pertain to the weekend.
Yeah. I can't think of anything. Wow.
Oh well, we'll see soon. Yeah, and so that's kind of all like the actual things we've heard and seen from this announcement in this house so far. If we want to spend just a little more time talking about kind of the community's reaction, we did this a bit for the Blumhouse house as well, and to me it was kind of the same situation. Blumhouse during speculation was kind of very down. Everyone acted like they'd be super pissed if it was announced, and then it was announced that really wasn't totally the case. And I feel like that
Mm-hmm.
was, for the most part, the case here as well. I mean, people were trashing the idea of the weekend since they first heard it floated back in what, February, maybe as early as January. It's been a long time, um,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly we get to the announcement, and of course, there's negative, but it's mainly positive again.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of negative things here and there, but it's overall been pretty positive on my end. Like when I've been on social media today,
Mhm.
even the Facebook groups, like just kind of scrolling through them, I didn't see as many. I don't know if like mods or admins were deleting things, but like I didn't see any blatantly like "fuck this shit" posts. Where's Metallica? So that was good.
Yeah, it's a start. I almost wonder if it's like a case of, once it's official, they want to have hope. But when it's
Hmm.
not official, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to see this." Maybe something like that. I don't know. But it's becoming a trend, kind of, that there's a lot of negativity before it's announced, but once it's announced, not nearly as much.
Yeah, lately it feels like people just want to talk about people being negative more than I see the actual negativity.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and I we've talked about this before, and we've talked about it specifically for the weekend, and that's you can have your opinions, whether they're positive or negative. Just let people have those opinions, and don't try to tell them they're wrong. Or the biggest thing for the weekend, and one that I did see a few for still, is that like your bubble that you live in does not decide what horror is. So because someone else is excited and calling it horror, you don't get to go, "You're a dumbass, it's not horror." And I've seen there's people literally like straight up talking shit to people for being excited about the house,
Yeah.
calling them stupid and, wild shit. Like, your personal opinion of horror does not define what horror is in society as a whole. So sorry.
Definitely.
Let people have their opinions, even if they're negative, um, but don't, try to, I don't know, control what the event is. It's not centered around you at the end of the day. So yeah, that's about it.
Come on. I know nothing about the weekend. And that was the first thing I noticed on the artwork was that little monster guy.
Yeah, he's like in the back of like most of the like because there's like a couple of different artwork like mock-ups, right? And he's
Mhm.
like just chilling in the back of like both of them, just like right behind his head, just like right there,
He's
just
just
one
chilling.
eye poking out.
I like him. He's got a little underbite. I think he's cute.
Yeah,
I
his
mean,
nostrils are flaring. He's just like,
I'm gonna boop his snoot if it's a if it's a puppet. I'm just gonna
he's kind of adorable. It's
right.
you're not wrong.
I can't wait to find out what he's about because I'm obsessed with him.
I mean, yes, he is great. He is great.
I just love all the imagery on this. As someone who, like I said, knows like 2 or 3 songs by the Weeknd and nothing more, I'm very excited to watch the videos. I'm gonna watch all of the videos for this album, not just
Mhm.
the 6, because I want
Mhm.
the whole story. But
Oh, yeah, you
I,
definitely have to.
I'm excited. Go Abel.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is gonna be
obviously,
so cool, man.
I'm super stoked. So,
Yeah,
what's new? I've been saying that for a long time, but it's official. Here we go. So I guess we can move on from that now. Um,
we didn't get merch though. That was a
oh,
big thing.
that's right. Yeah, no preview merch this time.
Yeah, I think just to go back to the thing we were talking about, I don't want to go too far, but to go back to what you were just saying about like people just kind of hating on it. I'm big into like the synthwave community, and once his like this album like really blew up and became like the most popular album of all time, there was a lot of pushback there too, saying just like I think it's more of like people hating really, really popular things. I think
Hmm.
if the Weekend wasn't, like the most played, those songs are like the most played songs of like nearly all time at this point. I saw something like that. Like they're crazy amount of airplay. Um, I think we would maybe get a little bit of a different reception, but I think that's mostly what it comes down to. Is it's very, very mainstream at this point,
Yeah,
but that doesn't make it bad because
that's true.
this music is great, and I think this house is going to be really cool.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think also there's people who like have simply heard Blinding Lights because who in the world has not heard Blinding Lights at this point?
It's me. I'm that person.
You have
Yeah,
heard Blinding Lights.
I mean that's a
I know I
fantastic
have. I've
song.
heard
It's
only
great.
Oh,
Blinding
okay, okay,
Lights
okay.
and like one
Um,
thing.
but like, and that's like probably gonna be the poppiest sounding,
Hmm.
Yeah, Save Your
of After
Tears and
Hours.
Blind.
Save Your
Yeah,
Tears,
and
yeah,
Blind.
that too.
Yeah,
But like the two main ones, yeah. Uh, but like that's all they've listened to, and they're fully trying to form what he is off that. And obviously, if that's all you know, that's fine. But that comes to like, if I haven't seen a specific movie, I'm not going to just try to decide whether does it fit. Like I'll research the movie. I'll watch, and by research I mean watch the movie, and then try to form an opinion. So at least try to give them a chance first if you haven't, and if not, even if you still don't think it fits, go through the house first, and then if you still don't like it, great. Then you found out you don't like it. Done.
Yeah.
It's announced. No reason I'm being all pissed off about it, as some people are.
No, literally. And also, if this is in the new parade building like it's speculated to be, they can project videos on that building
oh
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
and we could get some cool projection mapping or the
Oh
music
yeah.
videos being played.
I will say it does kind of I mean, not it completely takes away any chance of me wanting to see like the Don FM, uh, like the radio aspect, like being the like guide through the house, and Jim Carrey, who's the host. Spoiler alert: if you haven't heard the album Don FM, Jim Carrey is the radio host, like kind of being there out in the facade. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it
I wanted
sounds
that.
like
I wanted
this.
that badly, but obviously that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, this announcement is focused only solely on After Hours,
Yeah,
right?
no, it
Like
is.
that's
It is
basically
fully after. I mean, Murdy. Obviously, it's called After Hours Nightmare, and
right.
very After Hours.
But
Like
How
you're
do we
not
feel
gonna.
Murdy
about that
correctly
name?
stated, it is only. Um, I'm fine with it. I don't love it or hate it, to be
Okay.
honest. The three words After Hours Nightmare just kind of sound good, though, in general. So yeah, it's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
I'm
I
neutral.
yeah. I mean, I think you had an idea. I rather than jumping around and doing like some done off him and some, there was going to be blinding lights. There was going to be Save Your Tears in this because those are the two most popular songs. Um, I'd rather have a cohesive story, kind of like they're doing, and they're going to just tell what that album,
Mhm.
at least part of it, like you said, the LA portion of that album. They're going to kind of tell that
Yeah,
story of, and so I think that's a fun, really fun way to
Now,
do it instead of jumping around
how
and doing
cool would it
like
have been?
from the minds of Billie Eilish, like kind of what we got rumored,
Yeah.
where it's going to be like jump around from different things.
No, I love that it's an actual story. But the fun thing is that After Hours leads directly into Dun FM. They do tie into each other. How cool would it have been if they pull like a Legends Collide kind of deal and did Part A, After Hours in Orlando, and Part B, Dun FM in Hollywood?
Oh, that
That's
would have been cool.
that would have been fucking
Oh,
insane.
well, that's just us being selfish because we're going out there.
I mean, true, but it would have been amazing. But
Oh,
we're not getting that. No reason to harp on it. But yeah, After Hours Nightmare. Any closing statements?
I can't wait to see it. That's really it.
Yeah, it's gonna be so cool.
All right, cool. So we do have some other news and leaks as well to talk about. The episode's not over yet. We got a bit more to go through. So the next thing we're going to talk about is this is actually really fun because the announcement that the HHN game is returning.
Nice.
The details provide actually quite a bit. So here, let me read through it. It's back and more monstrous than ever. The return of the Halloween Horror Nights mobile game, presented by Coca-Cola, returning this year with Halloween Horror Nights trivia. Always love that. And introducing the all-new Universal Monsters Cursed Alliance game. Play like your life depends on it, only within the official Universal Orlando Resort app and Universal Studios Hollywood apps. So, Universal Monsters Cursed Alliance. Ooh.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I see. I played the game last year.
Mhm.
Duff, I think we played it at one point together last year too, or tried.
I think that's the only time I ever got to actually play it because it usually didn't work.
Yeah, it crashed. I did tell Sterling every time that it crashed because Sterling works on the game. And they were like, we're going to try to fix it this year. So I have fingers crossed for that. But there was like a Jack, I can't remember what it was called, but there was the Jack part of the game and then the trivia part of the game. And I hope that this Monsters game is different than the Jack game because that was just run around the park with the QR codes
Mm-hmm.
and scan them. But the issue was if you locked your phone or like not close the Universal app, but just swipe to another app, the game would start completely over from the first clue. And you had to go all the way around the park again and not lock your phone or close it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my only issue, but it was so much fun because as you like went and did these QR codes, you would unlock different videos from Jack and like a backstory. So I just hope that whatever this Monsters game is, it's a different concept completely and like maybe still QR codes, but like something a little different. It sounds like it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like well, I mean, it's tough to say from that.
Right.
But yeah, we could think it will be something a little different, right?
Yeah, I hope so. It also looks like the picture in the background was in Sting Alley, and a lot of like the codes were back there, which
Mhm.
was fun because it's all dark and spooky, and you don't know who's back there. Normally, it's just teenagers vaping, but
Or Jess.
no, I'll find a smoking section.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm better than that.
Apologies.
um,
How dare you, Joe?
hey, I did say New York was my favorite smoking section earlier.
It's exciting regardless. I did notice one thing. You know, I love my Express. I definitely don't play trivia like I did before. Like I played a lot of trivia at HHN 29 because I didn't have Express, as I did it while I was chilling in queue. Didn't get to really play nearly as much last year because I didn't spend much time in queues.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So buyer beware of Express. You won't play as much trivia probably. It's worth it.
I was gonna say it. I think it's a good one.
Okay, well, let's get to the leak here. So we don't drop leaks ourselves. You're never going to get that kind of stuff from us. But once stuff is out there, we will discuss it. We'll talk about it. And the big recent leak, we cannot 100% confirm whether this is real or not, but is the HHN house shirt, specifically for Orlando, has leaked. The back of it showing you all the houses. Well, 8 of the houses, actually. So the Weeknd is not on it, which isn't surprising. That's, we've had that happen for IPs. And the other omission would be what was rumored to be Evil Dead, which was then rumored to be pulled. So that can create a situation where also could be missing. Um, Everything else matches up with what we've been hearing and seeing on spec maps. So let's go through real quick. It has Halloween. It has Legends Collide. It has Blumhouse. Um, what we've been calling Witch is listed as Spirits of the Coven. What's been listed? Oh, yeah. Little pun maybe there. What's been listed as Dead Man's Wharf is Dead Man's Pier, Winter's Wake. This is a great one. El Chupacabra is Fiesta de Chupacabras.
Party of the Chupies.
What a name. Bug House, Bugs Eaten Alive. And what has been labeled Seeds 2, Descendants of Destruction. And this house, we can't see the full design, but this house design shirt, very Halloweeny, like very Halloween. And I want to see the full thing, and I fucking love it. And I hope it's real just because of the design of it.
It's so good. It's finally not red and black. I'm sorry, I said it. It's purple and orange. It's Halloween. It's 31. I feel like it makes so much sense for this to be the house shirt.
Yeah, this would be an immediate buy. I wouldn't risk it running out. It's great.
It's so good. And then the names are also lining up a lot with things we've heard and seen lately in speculation. So I love it. I hope the front doesn't say don't go alone or never go alone, because I will kill somebody if it does.
Probably will.
Probably will.
I know.
But I love the colors. I mean, they can say it that if it's the same color scheme that's on the back is the same color scheme at the front, it can say whatever it wants to say. Really, that's a really cool scheme. I love it. I think this is going to be really cool if this is truly. I'm not getting my hopes up, but it's going to be really cool if this is it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's fucking good, guys. Again, we don't share this, so please don't hit up our DM asking for it. We do not have it on our timeline.
Nope.
But it is literally all over Twitter. It's on Instagram. It's not hard to find, I promise. So we just aren't going to share it personally. But yeah, so there's your potential house names and potential house shirt design. But Jess, I'll let you take the next one because you're a little bit more... Well, you have it pulled up in front of you. Let's be honest.
Is it the table?
The table.
Okay. Hold up. I had it pulled up. So the current tribute store, the summer tribute store, if you guys have been following that final table, like right before you exit the actual building, there's been newspaper clippings and there's been more added every week. And people were speculating that it was tying into HHN and, they're giving us clues and stuff like that. I wasn't really believing that until this last one that got placed on the table. And Skipper Haas has been doing a really good job of kind of like updating every time a new one is posted. But this one says mayor announces funding by local candy maker, and candy maker is underlined. And the speculation map right now has New York as Candy Mutants for a scare zone. So it says new Halloween venture to begin construction this year. After only 6 months, construction on previously announced Halloween experience is just around the corner. With the addition of a benefactor, progress is assured and locals will be able to enjoy this new and exciting experience by next year's Halloween. Although the history of the Tribute Theater, which is the facade right now, from Playhouse to Movie Palace is rife with controversy and horrid stories, things may finally be going in a positive direction for once. This new use for the space will be the first push for more family-friendly venues, and it just keeps going. 1953 is what it says. I don't know, man. There's multiple, I'm not going to read you all of them. That's just the newest one. But they all are, it kind of looks like Boris is investigating, honestly. Whatever's going on with this tribute theater and the renovations that are being done to it. And apparently the tribute store is closing in the next week or two. So renovations to the theater, to Halloween, local candy maker. I don't know. I know nothing, but speculation has this as Candy Mutants.
I mean, it's looking a little more likely than it did before, right? Like it felt more like hopeful wishing at some points. But that's Obviously, not officially announced that
No.
it is Candy Mutants, but either they're being hilarious by tying it into something that's not real, or it's real.
Yeah. I kind of hope it's real. I don't know. I think that'd be cool if we have a tribute store tie into a scare zone and you just exit into the zone.
It'd be so cool.
And the facade could tie into the zone. I don't know. I don't know. Just speculation.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'd like it to be real.
Yeah.
So there's that. Like, first of all, I think the Candy Mutants concept, obviously we don't know exactly what it would be. It could be taken a lot of different ways. Exciting concept for me in general. So
Yeah,
I'd be hyped. And then one little last news thing. The Hula Boutique over in Islands of Adventure that has been changing seasonally has gotten a lot less hula-y. All of the kind of summer decorations have come out, and that's likely to prep for the income of spooky season stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of keep an eye over there because I have a feeling if any merch is gonna drop early, it might be on that side of things.
It could. And it's just a cool store to check out. Anyway,
Oh, that too, of course.
Well, check it out regardless. But yeah, so there's just a little movement in a year-round Halloween store that, always, kind of leads you to believe the next thing is coming. I guess that's kind of it for news and rumors. Finally, that wasn't that long.
No.
We got through decently quick. But we do have a few voicemails to cover. This first one is going to be a two-parter. So, Jess, if you want to roll that real quick.
Of course.
Hi, guys. My name's Nicole. I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights for the very first time with my girlfriend. And I was wondering if you guys had any tips or tricks or places to go when Horror Nights might be too much or too scary or even triggering for some, if there were locations to go to get away and kind of cool down for a bit. Thank you so much for your amazing podcast. It's been so helpful to me as I've been trying to get into the mood and used to horror nights. And bye. Hey guys, I know I called earlier about something, but I just finished your last episode and you guys talked a lot about good runs versus bad runs affecting how you felt about the Haunting of Hill House. So I was wondering if you guys had any tips on maybe not how to avoid a bad run, since you don't really know you're going to have one until you're in it, but how to bounce back from one or maybe lessen the chance of getting one. Thanks again.
Well, thanks
for
calling in, Nicole. Appreciate that. And first time, always exciting. So enjoy that. Savor that moment. You'll never get the first time again. But yeah, Mike, interesting questions there for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
The first one's tougher, probably for all of us, because I don't think we necessarily avoid, HHN. And so, in HHN for the most part. So I will defer first to see if anyone else has any kind of ideas of what you do to kind of, take a breather from HHN.
Mike, do you want to go first?
All of my breathers with HHN were involuntary. So the times where I didn't get to go or had to skip years, they were all just out of necessity of where my life was. So
I think she's talking about more if you're at the event and
like during the night.
Oh no, I am just constantly running like a chicken with my head cut off at the event. I have never. I don't think I've ever really stopped to smell. Honestly, that's one of the things I usually regret. Is I would always want to just be able to go to the event one night and not feel like I have to run around and hit all the houses. But I always do. I always end up, and because I can't go to the event as often as I would like, when I'm there, I'm always like, oh, I got to hit that next house. I've got to do that. I've always said that I really think it would be fun to do Howling Hornets thing where I do 3 houses, the show, and then ride some rides. because I've never experienced the event that way. And I know a lot of people do experience the event that way. So yeah, no, I don't really have an answer for her. Does anyone else?
I do.
Okay.
Jess, go ahead.
Okay, so
But it sounds nice. It really does sound nice.
I love a break throughout a theme park adventure. I've been going to theme parks for years. I grew up as a Disney kid and then HHN. I find myself overwhelmed at times, especially if I run too many houses too quickly and I get really good runs on them. Especially like Wicked Growth last year. There were times where I was like, whoo, I need a break. Just depending on how it was. I know that sounds crazy to some people. I am a diehard still, but my best places, this might sound kind of weird, find a bench in a scare zone. You might still get some scares, but you get to watch other people being scared. And then also that you get to watch the scare actors work. That's my favorite thing, is to sit in a scare zone and appreciate like all the work that was put into the event. Like I said, you still might get a scare or two, but if you want like a scare-free zone, restaurants are always really good.
Mm-hmm.
They can't go in there. Gift shops, go in the tribute store, walk around, take in the AC. That's really nice. Get a drink and sit in a scare zone is my number one tip, though. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, that's I wasn't using that because it's not a fully getaway from the event, but if there's a scare zone you
Yeah,
feel like most comfortable in, or it's not really getting to you at all, I'd fully suggest that. And also, the more time you spend in it, one, the less you'd get bothered, and two, the more comfortable you get with it. So it's something I already like to do in general, to take in a scare zone. And of course, there's the more obvious answers, like you said, like go get food, sit in a restaurant. You could ride an attraction, take that time out, be in a queue.
I never
Um,
do that. I never ride rides at
yeah,
HHN.
neither
That's
do
the
I.
thing I
But it's
need to do.
it's definitely an
Duff,
option.
I actually remember once. I have we rode Men in Black.
Did
I
we?
think
Did we?
once, yeah,
I mean,
and I think it's the only time I've ever ridden an
If I'm
attraction.
gonna ride a ride at HHN, it's probably Men in
yeah,
Black.
like I know
Yeah,
I've done it. I just don't do it a lot
I
at
think
all.
the Mummy would be fun. I think know a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah,
people hit up
I
the
know I've
Mummy.
definitely done it during the event, but the Mummy usually gets longer waits than the other attractions. That and Rip Red Rocket.
But
So
what's
I
funny is we
prefer.
had Express last year and we never
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
ever used it on rides.
But anyways, rides could be a very good way to get out of that.
Yep.
And then, I mean, honestly, if you like kind of want to fully just take a breather, go out in a city walk, go grab a bite there, grab a drink out there, and the atmosphere is fully gone. Because even if you go to get food or something, or find an area where there's not a scare zone, you're still going to be experiencing those sounds and that
Mhm.
atmosphere. But as soon as you walk out of the park, well, outside the arches at least, Horror Nights ends, and it's just city walk. So if you need to fully desensitize uh, and just get out of that situation, go grab a drink at City Walk, go grab a snack, whatever, and that fully gets you out of that situation. So, um, yeah, could be something to do.
Yeah.
But the other question was bad runs and how to either kind of avoid them or like bounce back from them. I mean, I think unfortunately the simple answer is there's really no way to fully avoid them. Of course, um, I think the very beginning of the night and the very end of the night are going to be your more likely times to catch a bad run, just
Mhm.
because missing scare actors can be an issue on both ends of that, and just kind of like either finding the rhythm slash being exhausted, and can also affect that as well.
Yeah. Also, I don't condone like knowing shift changes and stuff like that. I know with icons, it started to get a little crazy last year,
Mhm.
with people like begging to find out when which icon would be on the throne. But
Yeah,
like,
that was messed up.
yeah, but like knowing, I guess when the fresh set of legs are coming on because they rotate in like I think 45-minute
Mhm.
increments. If you catch a cash change, usually like right off the bat, they're full of energy and ready to go. But that's a lot to like worry about if you only have one night at the event. Um, I would definitely say run all the houses once. If you want to get a good run and don't get a good run in a couple of houses, see if you can run them again. Express is also a good option because then you can always, do it again without Express, I guess, or save your Express for when it's a longer line. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you nailed what the best way to avoid a bad run is, or ensure you get a good run is. doing houses multiple times. Unfortunately, that's
Mhm.
kind of like the privilege of being able to go to the event multiple times or having express.
Hmm.
Not everyone's gonna have that opportunity, but to be honest, that is the safest way to bet that you are gonna get a good run at some
At
point.
least one good
Yeah,
run. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And I think we're really tough on Hill House too, because I had decent to good runs in Hill House,
Hmm.
but overall I had more bad runs than good runs for how often I go. I guess is really what I meant to say in that episode.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Um,
same for me, pretty much.
but like if I hadn't gone through the house however many times I did, I probably would have considered some of them better runs than I do now. Also, I guess. So, yeah, just if you can go more than one night, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, no, it really just kind of comes down to blind luck. Like, I I think, I mean, you touched on it too. I think at the end of the night, sometimes you can time it where there's no one in front of you. And so you're going to probably get that scare because the kid's character is going to wait until there's an actual person in the room to scare them. But that literally only happens maybe like 2 minutes before that park closes. So it's like really once a night you're going to have that opportunity to be like walking the house by yourself.
Hmm.
That's the really only, and even then, sometimes they have scaled back the staffing of that house. So you're not going to get every scare anyway if you are literally walking in at 1:59 at night. I will say that is the time where I've had some of my best runs is like
Hmm.
banging down the door when they were, or I mean, like when they were about to close, like literally they were about to close the queue. Those are the times where I've had some of my best runs because I am walking in by myself and your group is the only people there's no really in the house or in not really anyone in front of you.
Yeah, and I mean, I brought up how that could be a bad time, but you're right. It's kind of a toss up at that point. Like, if you get a more private run, that's gonna be great. You're just hoping it's not having like missing scare actors at that point.
Yeah,
It's so
no,
it's really
and you're right, Duff.
it's
There is
really
sometimes
it's a
there's
toss up.
missing characters, yeah,
It's
as
totally a
well.
toss
So
up. But you're absolutely right that
Yeah.
if you get a not conga line run, you're more likely to get a good run.
yes,
Because you're not they're not gonna be scaring the people in front of you because they're not there. They're gonna be scaring you.
right, yeah,
Um,
not having someone right in front of you, and I'm not condoning walking super slow and backing up the
Oh no.
queue, but that some people do that. But I don't recommend that because you will probably have the people yell at you a lot, which makes the
mhm.
run bad. So
And then there was another aspect I thought was really interesting, and that was kind of bouncing back from a bad run. And I think that's interesting because I think we've all probably had runs where it was kind of so off that we walked out like almost down, like
mm,
completely, like oh
yeah,
man,
that's
like
happened
that
for sure.
was just
Hmm.
not a fun experience, really, and it just kind of brings your mood down. So like if you come out that bad, like how do you bounce back from it? I mean, one, hopefully get a good run on your next house, of course. But that's back to the issue of luck. Um, I don't know. Do you have any tips for just kind of the mindset of how to get through that?
Don't this is going to sound so dumb. Try not to put so much pressure on yourself and the run because I do find that like Beetlejuice Day, for example, I had so much pressure on myself that I put because I was going into Beetlejuice um, that it like adrenaline took over me and I blacked out. I don't even remember that first run. Um, so don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's a haunt event. There will always be other houses. You got to go in with that mindset. Also, have a drink if you have a bad run, and even if you don't drink, have a non-alcoholic beverage, get a snack, something that's going to boost your mood and reset the mindset that you can go into the next house a different person.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, you can't control the run, but there are other things at the event you can control. So do the
Mhm.
things that you know will bring you enjoyment. Pretty much, right? That's what, like, if you know that you love the stage show or the Lagoon show, go try to take it in and its next showing, and then kind of up that mood a bit, and then jump back on the houses then. I'd say
Yeah.
that's probably, so pretty much same tip as you. Do something refreshing that you will enjoy, and that should just kind of get you ready for your next run.
Yeah. Does this spark joy? Ask yourself.
Mike, any add-ons into that, or is kind of same camp?
No, same thing. Yeah.
Cool. So thank you so much for the 2 voicemails, Nicole. Glad that one, you're listening to us and enjoying. Appreciate that. And that more importantly, you're going to the event for your first time. So
Yes.
definitely enjoy that. I'm sure you will. And hopefully our tips that I know were kind of tougher for us, because not things that we go through too much, or have to worry about as much. Still can help you out a little bit. But we do have one more voicemail to listen to.
Yes, we do.
Hi, my name is Alex, and my girlfriend and I have been absolutely fucking obsessed with you about an entire year. I'm 30 last year, and our minds were completely blown, and now we're obsessed like you guys. But yeah, so thank you for your show. And today we saw all the announcements for Frequent Fear and the Weeknd. They dropped today. So we just bought our Frequent Fear passes, and we have our hotel for opening weekend, because that's kind of when we are able to go this year. But I just wondered if you guys had any tips or tricks or comments on like what opening night is usually like. I'm sure it's madness and tons of people, but any tips on when to arrive at the gate? Like, should you do Stay and Scream the first night? Should you do the gate? Anything like that. But yeah, thank you so much, and keep being a fucking badass podcast. Thanks, guys.
Oh, well, wow. Thanks for the kind words. Appreciate that. I mean, I think, sorry, I'm hung up on the one part of, do you stay and scream the first night, or do you wait at the gates? And I guess that depends, like, personally, I'm always a stay and screamer. I don't need to sit and watch the opening ceremonies at this point, because they're not really what they had been. I hate to be they're not what they used to be, but like, to be completely honest, ceremonies are like not the same spectacle they once were.
No.
They're not. It's more just the characters kind of come out, and all right, there it is. So for me, I don't feel the need to ever wait outside the gates. If you are someone who really wants to take in opening ceremonies, I would say opening night is probably not the night for it either, though, because those gates are going to be slammed on opening night. Get in the park, get in, stay and scream, take advantage of that opening night, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think people start lining up opening night like at a dumb time in the afternoon to be able to see the opening ceremony. And like last year, it wasn't worth it to me. I'm sorry. I will always be a stay and scream, get some houses in before I have to start using my express, start my drinking, start my eating, whatever I'm doing that night. I get to start it at like 4:30 in the park. I called it a tailgate earlier in the game. That's what, in the episode. That's what it is. I'm always going to be a stay and scream person.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Stay and Scream, especially at the opening night, is the way to go. I get why people liked to kind of experience the rope drop, if you will, or okay, this is the first time in coming in. That is a fun way to experience it. It's also a very claustrophobic way to experience it, and I deal with that type of feel. I don't like being in a very, very, very packed environment like that, especially during the hot day like that. So it's not for me, but I get why people do it.
So while we're all obviously pro Stay and Scream, would you guys agree that if you were to go to ceremonies, opening night is definitely probably not the best option?
100%. Opening night, there's too many people. Yes, people are buzzing, but I feel like you're going to get the same vibe inside the gate. And it's too hot. It's the end of August practically. It's barely September on opening night. So it's too hot. It's summer.
I would say the reason why you would do it is if you like have a YouTube channel or whatever, and you want to document the rope drop, like the very first
very open,
of the event. That would be, and most of the people who wait till 1 in the afternoon are those types of people. That's kind of why people do it, is to document for yourself or for others the rope drop of the event.
That's actually a really good point. Opening night, it's also going to be tougher to get a good spot because people are going to be lining up extra early.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
people are out there as early as like noon.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane on opening night.
That's what I meant by dumb early. They're not dumb being out there. It's just a dumb time for me. I'm not going to be out there.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's exciting that you have your hotel and everything in frequent fear. I'm excited for opening weekend.
Oh man, I cannot wait. 5 weeks. 5 weeks.
I can't believe it.
It's insane. It's coming so quickly.
It's almost August.
This year is flying by.
But Alex, thank you so much for the voicemail. Hopefully, our tip there was somewhat helpful to you. I guess. Well, here's a nice time to plug this again. Hey, voicemails. Remember that 100th episode, special episode we're doing? Send us in all the voicemails you can. Like, literally, everyone. If you ever wanted to leave one, now's the time. Next week, we will probably not be discussing them unless someone specifically wants it to be on next week's episode instead of the 100th. Then we might do that. But yeah, start sending them in. You got 2 weeks. That's 407-906-4134. Ask us any questions. Discuss anything you want about the event or ourselves. It doesn't really matter. Just, we want to hear what you got to say.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll see you next week, and we'll see you in the streets.